Assalamualaikum. Hello, I am teacher Ida Murni Jamari from YMS EduTech Learning Hub. Inshallah, we help students to improve in math and science by 2 grades in less than 3 months. In this video series for the O and N level chemistry students, we are going to share with you what are some of the essential strategies that you need to have in order to score well for the O as well as N level chemistry, inshallah. So in this first episode, I'm going to share with you how to write chemical naming. If you're ready, let's take a look at the examples. In chemical naming, we can categorize the strategy into 3 areas. So the first one is type 1, followed by type 2, and type 3. In type 1, we are dealing with ionic compounds. As we all know, ionic compounds consist of 2 types of elements, a metal and a non-metal. How do we know whether the element is a metal or a non-metal? Very easy. Look at our periodic table. If the element belongs to group 1, 2, or 3, we can safely say that the elements are metals. While elements belonging to group 4, 5, 6, and 7, they are the non-metal elements. So in writing the chemical name for ionic compounds containing a metal and a non-metal, first we have to write the name of the metal, followed by the non-metal, and the name of the non-metal has to be accompanied with "ite". Let's take a look at an example. Magnesium and chlorine. First, we need to identify whether the element is a metal or a non-metal. So in this case, magnesium is a metal, while chlorine is a non-metal. So together, we combine them. We write the name of magnesium first, followed by chlorine. However, we have to change the name of chlorine to chloride. So it becomes magnesium chloride. Okay, let's take a look at practice 1. Write the chemical name for the following substances. So the first one, we have sodium and chlorine. So step 1, ask ourselves, which of these 2 elements is a metal? And that is sodium. And chlorine will be the non-metal. So the name of the compound will be sodium chloride. Okay, let's take a look at the second one, calcium and oxygen. So calcium is the metal, oxygen is the non-metal. So combine them together, it forms calcium oxide. All right. Number 3, bromine and aluminium. Aluminium is the metal, bromine is the non-metal, so that makes the compound to be called aluminium bromide. Okay. Potassium and iodine. So check the periodic table, which of these 2 elements is a metal? Yes, potassium is the metal, while the iodine is the non-metal. So that gives us potassium iodide. All right. Lastly, sulfur and barium. Barium is the metal, so this compound will be barium sulfide. All right. So recap, type 1 involves ionic compounds, whereby we have to name or label the metal name first, followed by the non-metal, and the non-metal has to be ended with "ite". Okay, so now let's proceed to type 2. Type 2 involves ionic compounds as well, but this time around it is not metals from group 1, 2, and 3. This time around we are dealing with transition metals. So if we look at the periodic table, the transition metals are the middle block elements. We have transition metal and a non-metal elements. So in writing the ionic compound of transition metal, it has to be accompanied with the Roman numeral, which represents the oxidation number, followed by the non-metal element, and it has to be ended with "ite." Okay, let's take a look at an example. Copper 2 ion and bromide ion. So we will write the name of the transition metal first, accompanied with the oxidation number. So that will be copper 2 bromide. All right. So let's take a look at practice 2. Zinc ion and chloride ion. So zinc is the transition metal, so we will write zinc chloride. Okay, you may ask, why is it that zinc is not accompanied with the oxidation number? Zinc is a special transition metal whereby its oxidation number is always 2. So we do not need to write it as zinc 2 chloride, since majority of zinc compounds are zinc 2. Okay. Let's take a look at the second one, lead-2 ion oxide. Lead-2 ion and oxide ion. So lead-2 is the transition metal. So it will be lead-2 oxide. The third one is iron-2 ion and iodide ion. So that will be iron-2 iodide. Okay, number 4 is sulfide ion and copper 2 ion. The transition metal is copper 2. So we will write copper 2 first. Copper 2 sulfide. Lastly, iron 3 ion and oxide ion. So iron 3 is the transition metal. So that will be iron 3 oxide. Okay. So type 2 involves transition metal, which has to be accompanied with its oxidation number, followed by the non-metal element, and the non-metal element has to be ended with "ite." Okay, let's look at the last type, which is type 3. In type 3, we are dealing with compounds which contain polyatomic ions. What are the 5 polyatomic ions that you need to know for the O1 as well as the N level? Okay. We can first categorize the ions into positive ion and negative ions. There's only one positive ion that you need to know, which is ammonium ion. And there are 4 negative ions that you need to know: carbonate ion, hydroxide ion, nitrate ion, and sulfate ion. So in writing compounds involving polyatomic ions, we will write the name of the positive polyatomic ions first, followed by the negative polyatomic ion. Example, ammonium ion and sulfate ion. So ammonium ion is the positive polyatomic ion. Sulfate ion is the negative polyatomic ion. Hence, the name of this compound is ammonium sulfate. All right, let's take a look at practice 3. We have ammonium ion and nitrate ion. So first, we need to identify which of these two is the positive polyatomic ion, and that is ammonium ion, while nitrate ion is a negative polyatomic ion. So we will write the name of the positive polyatomic ion first, which is ammonium nitrate. Okay, notice that the name of the second substance does not change. So the name of the negative ion, carbonate ion, hydroxide ion, nitrate ion, sulfate ion remain as they are. All right. Okay, number 2, carbonate ion and ammonium ion. Again, step 1, identify which of these two is the positive polyatomic ion, and that is ammonium ion, while carbonate ion is the negative polyatomic ion. So the chemical name for this compound will be ammonium carbonate. Okay, third one, magnesium ion and sulfate ion. Magnesium ion, it does not belong to any of the 5 polyatomic ions. However, magnesium is group 2 element, which is metal. And sulfate ion is the negative polyatomic ion. So the metal has to come first, magnesium sulfate. Okay, and lastly, hydroxide ion with iron 3 ion. So the transition metal will come first, iron 3 ion will come first. So iron 3 followed by hydroxide ion, iron 3 hydroxide. Okay, so those are the 3 types of chemical naming strategy. I hope you find this video useful, and inshallah I'll see you in the next video where I'll share with you how to write chemical formulae. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.